So Kristen, you've been taking us kind of from the west out to the east, the Dalles, the destination point, if you will. And I want to know about the place that used to have a tunnel, Mitchell Point. It's not there any. The tunnel isn't there anymore. And maybe Bill, you would want to talk about that. Tell me a bit about what that was like and why it had to go.
Well, those of you that have traveled in that particular area west of Hood River notice that the railroad track is right up against I-84, and I-84 is right up against that sheer cliff up there. So there really wasn't room. And you have to remember, back in the 50s, the construction methods were quite a bit different than they are today. So the engineers, in their great wisdom at that time, blew the side of the mountain off. And it was fine because it served the purpose on it. Well, now in this reconstruction and building the new highway, we're going to have to figure out how we can get the trail in there. And we've walked up on Big Mitchell. We've been in the saddle in there. There was an old road that went through. We explored every avenue that we could around Mitchell Point and found out that the most inexpensive and also from an aesthetic standpoint would be to bore a new tunnel through there. We have to remember when the construction of 84 went in, they really fractured that old Columbia River basalt when they blew it up. And it's fractured about 150 feet back into that cliff. And we have to go behind those fracture lines and bore. But the boring equipment is so sophisticated today that we feel we can do that, as I said, the most economical way. But when we do it, we're going to end up with the windows in it, like the old. We had 5 there, and I believe it's 3 or 4 that we're going to do, and that. But it is what we all say is the big nut as far as getting the highway completed.
The biggest challenge,
it is.
then?
Well, it's a challenge because of the finances. The engineering part of it, the engineers tell us that no, with these new boring machines, similar to the ones that they have in the Portland, the sewer lines in Portland metropolitan area, that type of machine that they can literally walk through cliffs on. So
really,
where rather the old way was pick and shovel and dynamite and caps and
yeah. So a lot more precision, but probably but also a lot more expense. So Hood River, Kristen, we're kind of in the Hood River area now. Briefly, kind of move us along to the Dalles and where things are at.
Yeah, and so one important thing to mention is that we're working on the trail connections, basically between the community of Wyeth and Hood River. So we're working on the trail, which include the tunnel, and then moving from Hood River to the Dalles. It's done. It's really exciting to say because we have the trail today. We have the trail between Hood River and Mosier, which everybody loves, and the Twin Tunnels there, the Twin Tunnels Trail. And then we say we can get from Hood River to the Dalles, and that's a combination of both State Trail, which is the non-motorized, the walking, hiking, biking trail, and then the drivable portions of the highway, the scenic portions, essentially the section between Mosier and the Dalles. So that would be our goal. So we're really focusing on Wyeth to Hood River is our next nut to crack, as Bill would like to say.
Crack. So when this is all complete, maybe not going to hit the 2016 target, but one day when it is all complete, and during the process of keeping it all usable, how is this going to be maintained? Who's paying to keep it all maintained? And is that the Forest Service, the state, both? Yeah. How's that all work out?
Like I mentioned earlier, it is a partnership, and ODOT typically builds the trail, but we have lucky enough to work with Oregon State Parks that maintain it. So we haven't gotten down to the detail, but as there is a day use fee, there potentially could be day use fees at the different trailheads to help pay for the maintenance. But we really see this as Oregonians' trail in the end. It'll actually be a jewel that has both statewide and nationwide significance, but we really will depend on Oregon State Parks to be, so you'll see park rangers out there maintaining it, and it'll be a park facility.
All right, great. Well, Bill, I want to kind of I want to just ask you this, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible. Why do you care about this project so much?
Gosh, it's pretty warm and fuzzy, I'll tell you. It really gets us excited. I'm not an engineer. I ride the bike quite a bit, and I've done a lot of hiking. And I think that the items that you run into along the highway are very exciting. Kristen mentioned a minute ago, we've discovered waterfalls that haven't been seen for many, many years. And as we all know, the vegetation is getting more dense on it, and we are addressing that. People ask us every day, what are you going to do about what I like to call the Cottonwood Corridor? And as we do these projects, we are addressing the vegetation that is in there, and we're making these view sheds that are going to open up. So you'll see things along, like people want to see Beacon Rock from the trail. So we're going to cut a window for it to look out. And this is kind of setting the pace, and I like to say that this is the introduction to opening up the views on I-84. You know, you have this beautiful Columbia River Gorge, you know, unique in the world. Well, why can't we see it? So we have to cut the brush.
Right.
But those are the things that are exciting to me. It's really it. And then, you know, at my age, I have memories of the highway and the drinking fountains that were along the way, and the wide spots that you pull off, and stopping on the loops a lot because my sister was always car sick, and we had 3 or 4 stops to make for her. So there was a lot of life that went into the travel on the highway.
So kind of almost full circle having this come
Pretty
back
much.
around. Very good. Well, I wish, and we'll need to just have you guys back because there's so much that we could talk about, and there's so much still to be discovered from the public standpoint, you know, that we get to look forward to and enjoy. And so thank you for helping facilitate that. And again, thank you guys both for coming on in your time.
Our pleasure.
So, all right, it was very nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you. Thanks for your time. And you guys, thanks so much for watching. And as always, take care of each other.
Do you have a guest idea? Let us know. Go to localite.com.